What if I told you that the most powerful skin transforming tool available to you right now costs less than $10? Not a luxury serum. Not a clinical treatment. Not something your dermatologist recommends because a brand rep sent them a gift basket last Tuesday. Something simple. Something old. Something the beauty industry has quietly hoped you would overlook for decades. Because the moment you truly understand what it can do, you stop spending hundreds of dollars on products that were never built for you in the first place. Stay with me through this entire video, because at the very end, I am sharing a 2-ingredient combination that nobody in this space is talking about. And when I say nobody, I mean absolutely nobody. It takes everything in this video and multiplies it in ways that will genuinely surprise you. I will get there, but every single section before it builds the foundation. Skip ahead and you will miss the point entirely. Welcome to Black Women Over 50. The space where women like us stop accepting generic beauty answers and start getting specific about what our skin actually needs. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button right now, because what we do in this community is different. We do not do trends. We do not do one size fits all. We do real science that belongs to us, delivered straight, with no filters and no apologies. Now let us get into it. Let me start with something that most skincare content will never say out loud. The overwhelming majority of ingredient research, clinical trials, and product formulations in the beauty industry were built on lighter skin types. Fitzpatrick 1 through 3. That is not a conspiracy theory. That is a documented research gap. And it is sitting quietly behind every single anti-aging cream that ever promised you results and delivered confusion instead. And here is where it gets personal. How much money have you spent on products that were clinically tested on skin that looks absolutely nothing like yours? Go ahead and write that number in the comments right now if you are brave enough. I promise you, you are not alone. And you are not foolish. You are simply given incomplete information. And that ends today. Melanin-rich skin, Fitzpatrick 4 through 6, operates on a completely different structural level than what most beauty brands acknowledge. Our dermis is measurably thicker. Our collagen bundles are denser and more tightly organized. We produce melanin through more active melanocytes, which gives us extraordinary natural protection against UV-induced photoaging. That is not a small thing, honey. That is structural superiority. And most of the content you have been consuming your entire adult life has never once acknowledged it. But here is the other side of that truth that we also need to talk about. Our skin carries specific needs that generic anti-aging formulas were never designed to address. We carry a higher biological risk of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. You probably just know it as dark spots or discoloration. Any product that triggers even mild irritation can leave behind marks that take months, sometimes longer, to fully resolve. And many of those aggressive actives being marketed heavily to women over 45 right now are working directly against our biology, not with it. This is precisely why castor oil, used correctly, is not a budget alternative to something better. It is a precise biological match for exactly what our skin needs at this stage of life. And that distinction matters more than any price tag. Now before I go any further, I need to pause and ask you something directly. How many of you have already tried castor oil before, found it too thick, too sticky, too heavy, and quietly abandoned it within a week? If that was you, come down to the comments right now and type the words, "I quit." I personally read this community and I genuinely want to know. Because what I am about to share is the exact reason most women never see a single result from this oil. And it has nothing to do with the oil itself. Stay with me. Let us talk about what castor oil actually is, because most people using it have no idea why it works. And that lack of understanding is exactly why most people quit before they ever see results. Castor oil is approximately 90% ricinoleic acid. That is its defining compound, and it behaves unlike any fatty acid found in other common carrier oils. Ricinoleic acid is a hydroxyl fatty acid. That hydroxyl group is what makes it exceptional. It has a natural affinity for water, which means it does not simply sit on the surface of your skin blocking everything underneath. It acts as an occlusive that works with your skin's existing moisture, locking hydration into the layers where it actually counts. For melanin-rich skin, the barrier is everything. When our barrier is even slightly compromised, Water escapes through the surface, texture becomes uneven, and the quiet conditions for hyperpigmentation are being created without you even realizing it. Castor oil applied consistently reinforces that barrier without the irritation risk. No retinoid burn. No acid sensitivity. No inflammation trigger. Which means no invitation for the discoloration that synthetic actives can cause on deeper skin tones. And there is more. Ricinoleic acid carries documented anti-inflammatory properties at the cellular level. It interacts with prostaglandin receptors in the skin tissue, which are directly involved in the inflammatory response. So it is not only protecting your barrier. It is actively reducing the low-grade chronic inflammation that quietly degrades collagen in the deeper layers of your dermis over time. Pause for just a moment right now. Run your fingers slowly along your jawline. Feel that edge carefully. The density you feel beneath the surface? That is the collagen structure we are working to protect. Castor oil applied consistently with the right technique gives that architecture exactly what it needs to hold its shape. And the right technique is everything. Which brings me to the part most people completely get wrong. Castor oil is dense. Its thickness is significantly higher than most carrier oils, and that density is not a flaw. That density is the mechanism. But it also means that how you apply it is not optional. Application method is structural to the entire protocol. Get it wrong and you will be greasy, frustrated, and completely convinced it does not work. Get it right and you will be calling your girlfriends about it in 3 weeks. Here is the exact method. Step 1. Quality before anything else. The oil should be cold-pressed, hexane-free, and unrefined. The color should be a pale golden yellow. If it is completely clear and watery, something has been processed out. If it smells sharp or fermented, it is past its window. A high-quality castor oil has a very subtle, nearly neutral scent. That is your standard. Do not compromise here. Step 2. Apply to damp skin only. Not dry. Damp. The castor oil seals. It traps moisture already present on the skin surface and prevents it from escaping overnight. On dry skin, it has far less to work with. This one single adjustment changes the entire outcome. Step 3. The massage. And this part is not optional. 3 to 5 minutes of upward strokes along the jawline and neck. Gentle circular movement at the temples. Light pressure along the brow bone. This movement activates the lymphatic vessels directly beneath your skin. Fluid retention reduces. The face sculpts. The effect that women describe as waking up looking restructured overnight. That is not mystical. That is lymphatic drainage, activated by your own hands and sealed in overnight by the oil. Now here is the full sequence written out simply so you can begin tonight if you choose to. After cleansing, while your face is still slightly damp, take 1 to 2 drops of castor oil between your fingertips and warm it for about 10 seconds. Apply to the jawline and neck first, moving upward. Then the cheekbones, moving toward the temples. Then lightly across the forehead. Use whatever residue remains on the backs of your hands, because that skin deserves the same attention. Then massage for a minimum of 3 minutes, always upward and outward. You will feel warmth building as circulation increases. That warmth is the protocol working. Leave it overnight. Do not layer additional products on top. Castor oil is your final step. Let it work in a clean, uncompromised environment. And this is the part one need you to actually take seriously. Consistency is the only variable that determines results here. 2 weeks minimum before you evaluate. The skin renewal cycle for women in this stage of life runs approximately 28 to 35 days. You have to give your biology the space to respond. 1 week is not data. 2 weeks is the beginning of a conversation. If this video is giving you real value today, I want to ask a small favor. Share this video with one woman in your life who has been spending too much money on products that were never built for her. Just one woman. One share. That is how the Black Women Over 50 community grows, one queen at a time. Now, let us get to what you have been waiting for. This is the moment you stayed for, and I promise you it was worth every second. The compound that makes this entire protocol exponentially more effective is rosehip seed oil. Applied first, before the castor oil. Not blended together in the same bottle. Not mixed on your palm. Layered intentionally, in a specific order, for a specific reason. Here is the science. Rosehip seed oil is exceptionally high in trans-retinoic acid, a naturally occurring form of vitamin A and linoleic acid. For melanin-rich skin, linoleic acid is particularly significant. Research indicates that melanin-rich skin tends to run lower in linoleic acid relative to lighter skin types. Restoring that linoleic balance reduces inflammation, reinforces the barrier, and critically, has been shown to reduce melanin synthesis at the cellular level. That means it works directly on hyperpigmentation at its source. Not just at the surface. At the source. And now here is where some of you are going to disagree with me in the comments. And I genuinely welcome it. I believe that this two-ingredient combination does more for melanin-rich skin over 45 than most $500 night creams on the market today. I said what I said. Come disagree with me below. I am ready for that conversation. Here is the exact layering method. 1 pump of rosehip seed oil applied first to damp skin, pressed gently in. Followed immediately by 1 to 2 drops of castor oil to seal it. The rosehip penetrates and does its cellular work in the deeper layers. The castor oil locks it in place, extends its contact time overnight, and handles the lymphatic sculpting through your massage. Together, they address exactly what melanin-rich skin over 50 needs. Barrier reinforcement. Hyperpigmentation reduction at the source. Collagen support. Structural sculpting. Total cost? Under $15. Total effectiveness? Built for our biology from the ground up. Now, before we close, I want to say something plainly. And I need you to actually sit with it, not just process it as information. The conversation around aging has spent decades trying to convince women like us that our skin is losing something. That after 50, the work becomes about slowing damage, about holding on. Every $200 night cream, every age-defying serum, every campaign built around the words anti-aging, all of it rests on the same foundational assumption that time is working against you. Queens, that assumption was never built on our biology. What is actually happening in melanin-rich skin over 50 is far more interesting than any marketing department wants you to believe. Your melanin is still producing photoprotection that lighter skin types simply cannot replicate. Your dermal collagen, denser and more tightly organized, is not disappearing. It is responding to environment, to inputs, to what you choose to put on it every single night. The thicker dermis that defines our skin carries a structural resilience that does not expire at 50. What changes is not your capacity. What changes is your awareness of it. And that awareness creates the actual shift. The women who are genuinely glowing at 55, at 62, at 70 are not using magic. At some point, they made a decision to stop accepting generic answers and start getting specific. You are making that decision right now. And that is exactly what Black women over 50 was built for. Aging is not subtraction, honey. It is refinement. You are not starting over. You are building on a foundation that was designed to last. Now here is my question for you this week, and I want a real answer in those comments. Between the rosehip and castor oil layering method and the lymphatic massage technique, which one are you starting tonight? Not thinking about starting. Not planning to start next week. Tonight. Write it out below. Make it a commitment. This community holds each other accountable, and I will be in those comments reading every single one. If you are watching this and you have not yet subscribed to Black Women Over 50, what exactly are you waiting for? This is the community that gives you real information, real science, and real conversations built specifically for us. Hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you never miss what we are building here together. And if this video gave you something real today, pass it to one woman in your life who deserves this information. One share. One queen at a time. I will see you in the next one.